Hello, class. We'll be discussing Module 5, Good Governance and Stakeholder Engagement, and the P5, Impact Analysis, Planet and Prosperity. I will be discussing this week's uh, topics, which focus on good governance and stakeholder engagement, with a particular emphasis on the intersection of the planet and prosperity. I will be discussing our required readings and how they relate to this week's topic. As the quote states, good governance is fundamentally about establishing an efficient and effective process for making and implementing decisions. To establish good governance, one must first start with stakeholders. So what is a stakeholder? Uh, a stakeholder, as noted by Sylvia's 2019, by definition, uh, a stakeholder is a person, group, or organization that has interest in or can affect or can be affected by or perceived to be affected by any aspect of the project. To further explore stakeholders, we turn to the article by Sylvia's 19, Planning Stakeholder Engagement from a Sustainable Development Perspective. The article examines how projects are instrumental in sustainable strategies, yet there is a lack of consideration for sustainable development principles. A more proactive approach towards stakeholder engagement is required. The article dives deeper into the distinction between management for stakeholders versus management of stakeholders. The other article that discusses the stakeholder approach, Escarod and Human, 2013, which notes a similar correlation. With management for stakeholders, the project manager views stakeholders as a resource of ideas that can drive sustainability forward, keeping in mind concepts such as the triple bottom line. The article provides details on the power interest grid, which shows the level of influence and power a stakeholder has. Derkishan et al. 2019 noted some stakeholders are decision makers who are accountable to higher level management. These individuals need to be treated with high power and high influence. The other is the salience model, which offers additional insights, including legitimacy and urgency. Legitimacy and urgency adds a layer that is missing in the power interest grid. The article concludes with an expanded discussion of sustainable development principles and a more detailed representation of established stakeholder management practices. Good governance policies that we learn about in chapters 3 and 4 of the P5 standard, which promote sustainability, including labor practices in transport. Practices in transport are linked to good governance by integrating strong ethical policies that tackle issues related to workers' health rights, including work-life balance, mental health, and creating a workplace free from harassment and discrimination. The GMP Guide, chapters 7 and 8, provides supporting processes to promote good governance. The GMP Practice Guide outlines the PRISM approach to supporting process, which includes stakeholder engagement, estimating such as life cycle cost and environmental impact assessments, team development using Tuckman's interpretation, forming, storming, norming, and performing, which can build cohesive and skilled team that fosters collaboration and a culture of continuous improvement to handle sustainability challenges. Performance monitoring and control, which focus on tackling performance against sustainability indicators. Change control, which manages changes of the project with sustainable lens. And issue management, which analyzes and resolves issues related to sustainability. The process generates strong framework that ensures the project remains aligned with sustainable goals, delivers stakeholder satisfaction, and has a positive impact on the environment. The last is chapter 8, which discusses the good principles of good governance. Good governance emphasizes making decisions that are ethical, aligned with the organizational strategic objectives. At the core of governance is managing risks and tackling performance with emphasis on sustainability. This empowers leaders to make informed, ethical decisions that foster sustainable success. And chapter 14 discusses standards of project management, such as the ISO 21500, the PIM book, and Prince 2, which are the guides for management of projects. So my three questions are, how can PRISM approach with emphasis on sustainability be successful in sectors that prioritize short-term profitability over long-term environmental impact? When analyzing stakeholders and their influence, how can a project manager mitigate biases given that the analysis of stakeholders is inherently subjective in nature? And how can you adapt governance frameworks to align with sustainability without compromising efficiency or stakeholder alignment? Thank you very much.